on your part, it will tantamount to incomplete self-defense. Okay? Ang incomplete self-defense po ay isang mitigating circumstance. So, posibleng magpababa ng penalty. Pero, kung mawala yung unlawful aggression, okay, considering that one is an indispensable requisite of self-defense, okay, hindi na siya matitreat na self-defense or even incomplete self-defense kapag nawala po. Okay? I hope that you are learning. Okay? For question number 5, you cannot evade, okay, in memorizing terms in studying law. Okay? This is how we do it. Okay? Number 5, a blank exists when two or more persons come to an agreement concerning the commission of a felony and decided to commit it. Okay? So, what's your answer? I think this is very simple. And I think you can find this in Article 8 of the Revised Penal Code. Okay? So, the correct answer here is no other than, okay, mali na naman yung secretary ko, but the correct answer here is letter A. Okay? There is conspiracy or conspiracy. Okay? I have a professor in the College of Law, tawag niyan conspiracy. Kasi piracy raw ang tawag din sa ano, di ba? Bakit naging conspiracy? Okay. Anyway, when we talk about conspiracy, okay, there are two or more persons, okay, which may who may be coming into an agreement concerning the commission of a felony, and it is important that they decided to commit it. Okay? Pero kung halimbawa, A, B, and C, ganito lang ano yan eh, panglito sa exam eh. A, B, and C. Okay? A, B, and C agreed to kill D. Okay? What crime was committed? Okay? Or sabihin natin na, is there conspiracy between the three of them? Okay? It is premature for us to say that there is conspiracy. Okay? Considering that, in the facts given, wala pang sinabi na they decided to commit the crime of murder or homicide as the case may be against D. Okay? So, ang importante dito, nagsabuatan yung dalawa o higit pang tao at ginawa nila yung krimen. And what is the essence of conspiracy? The act of one becomes the act of all. So, say for regard that A, B, and C, okay, planned and agreed to commit the rape of D, okay? And during the incident, okay, si A at saka si B hinawakan nila yung kamay. But it was only C who did the penetration, okay, against the will of D. Okay. So ang malinaw, si D ay si C, okay, siya yung gumawa ng rape. Okay. Kasi he has the intent to penetrate. However, okay, since if the prosecution would be successful in establishing that there was conspiracy between A, B, and C, okay, the act of one becomes the act of all. Therefore, the answer to that is A, B, and C would be liable also for the crime of rape. Okay. Now, it is very important, especially in criminal prosecution, everyone, that if there is a theory of conspiracy, it must be proven in court. Hindi po pwedeng i-allege lang natin siya. Okay? It must be substantiated. There must be evidence, okay, which would be supportive of your claims of the theory of conspiracy. Absent that, okay, it will be treated that the one who perpetrated the crime is the only one responsible for the crime committed or the crime charge. Okay? Now, meron naman tayong isang question dyan na similar para naman sa letter C. Okay? When it exists, when one person proposes to another the commission of a crime and decided to commit it. Okay? Ang tawag naman po doon yung proposal to commit a felony. Okay? So, kapag halimbawa si A, sinabihan niya si B na gumawa sila ng krimen, okay, ibig sabihin nanggaling yung motibo sa paggawa ng krimen kay A, okay, A would be liable for the crime of proposal to commit a felony. Okay? However, as a general rule, mere conspiracy and proposal to commit a felony is not an offense. Okay? It is not a felony, rather. Why? Because we are adhering to the principle of nullium crimen nulla pena sine lege. There is no crime if there is no law punishing or prohibiting it. Okay? Ang exception natin dyan, when the law suggests the commission of such via conspiracy or proposal. Like for example, you are conspiring to commit treason. Okay? There is a provision under the Revised Penal Code which prohibits the same. Okay? Or the proposal to commit terrorism. Okay? So, although there might only be mere conspiracy or proposal, but there are laws, okay, which prohibits the same. Therefore, they are punishable. Okay? I hope that everyone's learning. Now, for number 6, okay, it is that characteristics of criminal law which states that criminal law is binding on all persons who live or sojourn in the Philippines, regardless of sex, age, and nationality. Okay. Para madali natin matandaan, when we talk about the characteristics of criminal law, kailangan matandaan natin yung acronym. Ang acronym namin yung dati, Pilipinas Got Talent, PGT. Those are the characteristics of criminal law. Okay? Maraming nagkakamali sa klase ng tanong na ito. Okay? And I believe marami rin siguro sa inyong sasagot ng letter C, which is territorial. Kasi nakita nyo, di ba? Criminal law is binding on all persons who live or sojourn in the Philippines. Okay? So, pag yun ang naispatan nyo, okay, and you answer territorial, okay, that is the wrong answer. Okay? So, let's go back. The 3 characteristics of criminal law are general or generality. T is for territoriality or territorial. And P stands for prospectivity or prospective. Okay? So, hindi ko kayo masisisi guys kung halimbawa sinagot ko yung letter C. But if you answered letter C, territorial, that is the wrong answer. And huwag kayo ma-frustrate, okay? Alam ko, ngayon, marami pa rin ang nagkakamali sa inyo. Okay? Whenever you are answering with me. And siguro yan, part ng learning process natin yan. Hindi ko kayo i-compel na matutunan nyo kaagad. Okay? You may make mistakes here in the review, but not in the actual board exam. Okay? So, it's better to cry a river now. Parang yun nasasabi namin when I was in law school. Diba? It's better to cry a river now than to cry an ocean. Okay? Especially when you are taking the board exam already. Okay. So, the correct answer here is letter A. Okay. Ang itinatanong kasi dyan hindi yung binding on all persons only. Ang itinatanong dyan yung the criminal is binding. Okay? In the Philippine territory. But the question there is, ito lang yun. Ito lang ispatan dyan. Criminal law is binding on all persons. Bilugan nyo yung persons. Okay? Now, generality talks about who are liable under the criminal law. It answers the questions who. Okay? It answers who are the persons liable under the criminal law. Okay? Territoriality, it talks about jurisdiction. Okay? Or it is a question of where did the crime occur. Okay? And lastly, prospectivity, it answers the question when. Okay? Or it is a question of time. Okay? When did the crime occurred or happen? Okay? That's how you are going to answer that. Now, sir, ano pong ibig sabihin ng live or sojourn? Magkaiba po ba yan? Technically, yes, magkaiba po sila. When we talk about live, okay, meaning You are here for residence, okay? Ikaw talaga ay you are a native, you are a citizen, you are a resident alien, okay? You are living, you are an alien or you are a foreigner and staying here for good in the Philippines, okay? That's the concept of living. How about yung sojourn, okay? Sojourn talks about vacation or pleasure. So, said for example that a Chinese man, okay, who is in vacation in Boracay committed a crime, okay? Ang tanong, under Philippine law, pwede ba siyang masampahan ng kaso? Is he liable? Although he is a foreigner who is just having his vacation in the Philippines, the answer is yes. Okay? Because the criminal law, according to general principle, okay, the criminal law is binding on all persons. Okay, regardless of your sex, age, and nationality. Now, for question number 7, this is a related question, okay, with regard to the characteristics of criminal law. Okay, Article 366 is the second to the last article of the Revised Penal Code. It says felonies and misdemeanors committed prior to the date of the effectiveness of this code shall be punished in accordance with the code or acts in force at the time of their commission. Okay. This illustrates one of the characteristics of the criminal law or the revised penal code, which is blank. Okay. Anong characteristic ng criminal law yan? Okay. How are you going to respond? So, tatlo yung ano natin, di ba? Tatlo yung ating characteristics. Generality, territoriality, and prospectivity. Now, balikan natin ha. Generality, it answers the questions, who are liable? Okay. Territoriality is where did the crime happen or occurred? And prospectivity, it answers the questions, when did the crime was committed? Okay. So, in this selection, you can see, ayan o, sasabi niya, no? Felonies and misdemeanors committed prior to the date of the effectiveness of this code, okay, shall be punished in accordance with the code or acts in force at the time of their commission. Meaning, kung gagawa ka ng krimen bago ang revised penal code, okay, ang sinasabi dyan, it is the old Spanish penal code which shall govern, okay, and not the revised penal code, okay, because we are adhering to the principle of letter B, prospective application. Okay. So, pag sinasabi natin prospective application, ano yan eh, lex prospicit non res explicit, meaning the law looks forward, not backward. Meaning, from the time na nagkaroon ng batas, okay, and subsequently, you committed a violation against that law, okay, therefore, it may be considered as a crime. That act shall be punished. Pero kung halimbawa, ngayon nagkaroon ng batas, okay, halimbawa, nagkaroon ng batas laban sa mga pogi, okay, pero previously, okay, pangit ka na nagpagwapo during, due to scientific discoveries, okay. So, it will be alleged that you committed a crime in violation of a law, okay, which was thereafter enacted. Ang tanong, pwede bang i-impose sa iyo yun? The answer to that is no. Okay? Because your acts was committed prior to the enactment of the law. Hindi pa pwedeng magkaroon ng retroactive effect ang ating criminal law. Okay? As a general rule. Because the law looks forward, not backward. So ngayon ang batas, gawin mo yan sa mga susunod na araw, okay, it will be punished. Okay. Yun ang concept ng prospective application. Now, article, I think this can be discussed in either Article 6, okay, sa stages of a crime. Okay. Now, material crimes are crimes that have 3 stages, okay, namely attempted, frustrated, and consummated stages, okay. So, matatagpuan natin yan sa Article 6. And I want you to memorize. Okay? Kailangan i-memorize din natin yung provision na yan, yung Article 6. Okay? Yun yung konsepto ng material crimes. If there are three stages, there are three stages in the commission of a felony, the stages of execution, it is considered as a material crime. Pero, ang itinatanong dito, ano naman yung tawag doon sa crimes that are consummated in one instant? Okay? That is, it may not have an attempted or a frustrated stage, such as acts of lasciviousness, slander, false testimony, theft. Okay? Meaning, there is no attempted and frustrated. It is only punishable whenever it is consummated. Okay. Anong tawag natin doon? So, dalawang magkalaban yan. Material crime, yung may stages, attempted, frustrated, consummated. At yung isa naman, kung consummated lang siya, okay, the answer to that is, it is a formal crime. Okay? So, yun yung kailangan natin maunawaan. Material, pag sinabi natin material crimes, mayroong 3 stages. Okay? Pag formal crime, consummated only. Okay? Next, let's proceed. Number 9, as a general rule, light felonies are punishable only when they are blank. Okay? With the exception of those committed against persons or property. What's your answers? Okay? Consummated ba siya? Frustrated, attempted, or none of the above? Okay? This can be viewed or seen in Article 7. Okay? Nandun yan, ng Revised Penal Code. Okay? So, let's go back. Okay? Yung light felonies, everyone, okay? It is deemed punishable only when they are, letter A, consummated. Okay. As a general rule, light felonies are punishable only when they are consummated. What is the reason under the law? Because those light felonies can be attributed with a small gravity. Okay. And maybe if you will be punishing frustrated and attempted, kumbaga mababaw nga yung mga batas na yan. Ay mga mabababaw nga yung mga batas na yan. Like for example, altering boundary marks. Okay. So it is punishable with arresto minor. So kung halimbawa you committed that in frustrated or in attempted, parang mas mababa pa dapat sa arresto minor yung parusa sa iyo. And under the law, we may attribute that as not that hard, or meaning to say, lang yan, mga simpleng bagay lang yan. Okay? So, wag na natin patulan, parang gano'n ang gusto sabihin ng batas. Okay? But there is an exception. Okay? An exception when are we going to punish light felonies? Okay? Although they are attempted or frustrated, is when it is an act committed, an act or omission committed against persons or property, pursuant to Titles 8 and 10 of the Revised Penal Code. Like for example, you committed the crime of slight physical injury. Okay? Slight physical injury, ang binibigay dyan usually arresto minor. Okay? Pwede bang magkaroon ng attempted slight physical injury o kaya frustrated? Okay? Frustrated, attempted, or frustrated slight physical injury. Ang tanong, pwede ba? Okay? The answer to that is yes. Okay? Because these are within the exceptions. Okay? Considering that slight physical injury is a crime against person. Although slight physical injury is a light felony, okay, but considering that this is a crime against person, it now beholds that it is within the exception. Okay. Letter E. Okay. For number 10, one of the theories in criminal law which states that man is subdued occasionally by a strange and morbid phenomenon which constrains him, okay, to do wrong in spite of or contrary to his own volition.